I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time, and when I'm not rehearsing my annual address to shareholders, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Are you a small business owner in Seattle who was impacted by COVID-19? The Seattle Office of Economic Development is investing $8 million to connect small businesses to operating capital. The Small Business Capital Access Program will lower the cost of Washington State Small Business Flex Fund loans by paying down 25% of the loan principal. Eligible small businesses can borrow up to $150,000 with a 4% interest rate to cover expenses like payroll, rent, utilities, and supplies.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Hey, this is Paul Pearson. I've hosted the R&B show Star Time since the very beginning of Rainier Avenue Radio, and after years of featuring tracks from the 50s through the 80s, Star Time now plays R&B and hip-hop from the 1990s as well. A whole half-century of soul, funk, hip-hop, and more on Star Time, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.
And welcome to our live studio audience for another exciting edition of Did You Know? And here we go with round one. Did you know?
The COVID vaccine is free and easy to get. You don't need insurance or an appointment to get your vaccine. Vaccines are available at many locations near you.
And now we're going to double the value. Did you know?
The COVID-19 vaccine is always free of cost. You can visit pharmacies, community health centers, and other health providers in your neighborhood.
And now for the lightning round. Did you know?
The Delta variant of COVID is a mutation that has health experts worried because it's twice as contagious.
Then for our finale. Did you know?
The best way to protect yourself from the COVID Delta variant is to get fully vaccinated. Get your vaccine today.
Find out more at kingcounty.gov/vaccine. Did you know?
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
I can be on the show.
Right. Welcome to our return show on What's Cookin in Columbia City with my very illustrious co-host and partner in crime.
Can you hear me?
Partner in crime, Brenda Charles Edward. We're trying to get connected to our guest, Tess Thomas, the owner and operator of.
Can you hear me?
We're trying to do a connection right now, but let me do this here. All right, we feature businesses in Columbia City, and are we getting connected there? Illustrious co-host? Guess not. All right. Anyways, well, and we've been off because of the and preempted because of high school basketball, which was really thrilling. Being a Garfield High School grad, the girls and boys 3A teams won state. The girls historically won their third straight championship. In other words, 3 in a row, three-peat, whatever you want to call it. And now the word is one more for 4. So I went to Garfield. So if you add 1 plus 3, that's 4. So they're saying, hey, we got 1 more to go, and we will have 4 in a row. And it's ironic that they played this Lake Washington team 3 times, and actually a 4th time. So we're ready to go. I just want to put that plug in being a Garfield High School grad, y'all. Anyway, congratulations. Hey, we have a very great return show, but my wonderful co-host has been so busy getting people involved, and she reached out to one of our stalwart businesses in the community. And just so happens that I know this person, so I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Brenda Charles Edwards, and our very special guest, Tess Thomas, the owner and operator of Emma's Barbecue, right here in Columbia City.
Hey, John, how are you?
Fine.
So I have I'm talking to Tess on the phone, and she's going to be here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Too
So
bad this isn't the live show and she's coming in. She could bring some takeout with her,
I know,
but that's okay.
I
I
would
know.
love to have some of her wonderful barbecue.
Oh yes, it looks good. I went to the site. I couldn't decide what I was looking. I mean, there was so much stuff there, and then I was able to pull the Emma's Barbecue. It's kind of crushed crunch, but if I opened it up, see, it's a little bit better. It does show Emma's. That says Emma's BBQ, and that's the sign that she has on her building. And yeah, I'm just so glad we could get her because we've been talking about getting her for months. And thank you, Brenda, for reaching out and
Well,
not only touching someone's hand, reach out and touch. You actually got her to commit to coming on. I mean, this is late at night, and she's busy. I know she also runs. Yeah.
she is so busy, John. I mean, she's gotten a couple new contracts,
Right.
and at what is it, Lumen Field?
Lumen Field, Seahawks Stadium. Yeah, Seahawks.
Yeah, and yes. Hang on a second, John.
Go ahead. Come on. So you're watching and listening to What's Cooking in Columbia City. This is our return show. We have been on hiatus for a few weeks because of basketball. And now we are back. And we've got a number of shows we're lining up. We're going to do some shuffling in the next couple of weeks because someone who had originally committed, they are going to be unavoidably, not available on that day, which would be the 14th. Today being the 7th. So but every week we will endeavor to have a local business in the Columbia City area, primarily Columbia City, and actually only in Columbia City, Hillman City too, but and local businesses as well as operating restaurants, dry goods stores. We have florists. We have an art gallery. We have a number of coffee shops. We are not going to be featuring corporate entities, national corporations, unfortunately, although they're also our friends. But we want to concentrate on local. We have optometrists, not ophthalmologists. We got a workout place, Bull Stewart's Place. We got a printing company. We've got, oh my gosh, we've got, like I said, a host of restaurants. We had Off Alley on a few months ago. They were written up in the New York Times. We had Island Soul on. We finally were able to corral Theo because he's also expanding. We want to put a shout out to him. That was a great show. But we also have Beth, who does we're talking about serious organic hair, good stuff right there in Columbia City. We had Homesite on, which is very active in the community, doing things. Housing is an issue. We had, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. We had Andaluz, Carla, great shop. I mean, if you want to go someplace, and I really mean this eclectically, you can go in there and get everything from incense to fashion to jewelry to knickknacks. Not knick-knack, paddywhack, but knickknacks. You can get everything. Like I said, I have to show it to you. I have an incense tree or burnt or holder, and this is what it looks like. And you put the little incense on it and you burn it, and you don't have to have one of them little burnt, things. I have this, and I got this at Andalus. Hey, and it's cool, and you just hang the incense on there and you burn it, and that's fun. It's not that I'm a pyromaniac, but every once in a while you want to burn some incense, and that's the way it is. But Brenda, we talked about, oh gosh, we still have over. Wow. Bike Works is on the menu or on the line. Columbia Florist, like I said, Pagliacci, which is a local company. People don't realize they're local, as well as All the Best. They're local. I'm trying to get their folks on. See, it's like we are making inroads. Not that I necessarily want to eat any of the offerings at All the Best, but I do have a dog. My dog loves that place. But we went to Eric's place. Eric, you went to Eric Weekland's Hummingbird. I know that they have good stuff. And Full Tilt, which is an ice cream parlor. We're going to get them on. And of course, when the weather gets a little bit better, but we can go, you can eat ice cream anytime. And they have a whole bunch of flavors there. And if you want to eat ice cream and play the pinball machine or video games, you can do that. So that's over at Full Tilt. And that's why it's called Full Tilt. For those of you who know pinball, tilt means, that's okay. I won't explain it. Brenda does not. Daniel says he takes his cat with. Okay, fine. Your cat is your partner. Dan Bellis, thanks, Dan. He's our tech guy, our producer, assistant director, Daniel Bellis. D Money. With Brenda, Charles Edwards, and John Yasutake Wilson. We'll see. Whatever. What's cooking? Are we making any headway with getting Tess on? I hope.
We are, John. It's just going to be a few more minutes. She's got to connect through her cell phone.
Oh, okay. And that's not a good. I hope that connection works. Anyways. This is what's cooking in Columbia City. We are your late night venue. Well, 9:30 is not really that late, but come on down. Come on, check us out every Tuesday, 9:30 to 10. It's the most enlightening. It's the most fast-paced 27 minutes you will ever, with a bunch of information and things that you can take home with you. Well, not home with you, but things that you could use in your everyday, because we will have all those business. We're going to have, there's health centers here that are, nonprofit, private. Kenon is one of them. And, we have, like I said.
Don't forget working out, John.
Huh?
Don't forget working out.
Oh, yeah. And for those of you who are into working out, don't take it from me. Take it from Brenda Charles Edwards, and she's gonna get on the bike and on the treadmill and get out there with Bull. Bull Stewart has his place here still, but nevertheless. And we've got a locksmith. We've got a local, not a corporate. We have a savings and loan. We have PCC, which is local. And again, we have. Yeah, we have everything. We have everything in Columbia City. Everything.
Don't forget the pet store, John.
Yeah, All the Best. I mentioned pet. All the Best. I spend a lot of time there, and but we have everything, as they say, literally from A to Z, soup to nuts. What did I say? We have everything from. What did I have? Zantac and no, I said. Everything from aspirin to Zantac. Oh, that's the same kind of. Anyways, A to Z. That's what I was trying to represent. Yeah, that was a very poor job of that, but nevertheless, we've got Renew, which we're not going to be able to have him on next week, but eventually we're going to have him on. They do physical therapy. Super. I can endorse them because my illustrious spouse, my heartfelt sentiment about my wife going to physical therapy. She had a great time. She had really good, a real good outcome. And she said they're very good. And my brother is currently going, and that's a personal endorsement. I'm saying it on his behalf that he goes for physical therapy because he had hip surgery. And the one thing that we have to understand as persons who are getting up in age, when we do have things like surgery, it takes us longer to heal, but we also have that aspect of PT, physical therapy. That is very important, and you got to follow the regimen. And we've got a convenient site right there on the corner of Rainier and Orcas Renew, right there. They take up half the block, and we've got to get this City Teriyaki. We've got Marination just moved in the neighborhood where.
Don't forget the Thai restaurant.
Yeah, and Thai, we're going to get them on because my co-host and I are going to probably hit that. Well, we not hit the place. That we're not going to rob the place. We're going to go in there and be customers, but we order from them too. It's very good stuff. And let me tell you,
John.
Yeah.
Tess is in.
All right, Tess, come on in. Yay, there she is. Tess, hi, how are you? You're mute. You're kind of muted, but go ahead and unmute.
Hit the unmute button, Tess.
She will.
Oh, there you go. Yay!
Yay!
Emma's barbecue. Tess Thomas. Oh, I got to do this aside. Rosebud, Arkansas is where your mom was born and grew up, correct?
Yes, it was.
Northeast of Little Rock. Phyllis's family. My in-laws are from Arkansas.
Wow.
They moved from Louisiana to Arkansas, and Phyllis's grandfather, my wife, her grandfather wrote for Daisy Bates's newspaper, which led to the integration of Little Rock Central. Daisy Bates, Arkansas Press. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm taking up all the time, but I wanted to connect.
My dad was from Arkansas too.
Right, and so you got a connection with Arkansanians. I'm
Yes.
from Chicago.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing. You mentioned that piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
After 74 years today of not knowing, I never knew my grandmother. I knew her name, but never knew anything about them. And my great grandmother, I never knew even her name until today.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
My great nephew was doing the ancestry search.
Oh, wow.
And found this information today. And I had searched high and low. And these are the things that are so important in the connections of what we go through and what we do, and just the legacy of our family. And these are the things that bring the real life right back to Emma's barbecue.
I was gonna say, excuse me, Brenda, but I read the story. And I read I've seen the news articles, all that kind of stuff. And you are dedicated to sustaining the legacy of your mother, and everybody needs to know that you do this out of love, and to keep the name Emma's barbecue. That's beautiful,
Exactly. When you have someone in your family that there and not a lot of accolades in life, but when someone raises 10 children and you're able to highlight their life in a special way of the things that they loved and enjoyed, those are the things that mean so much. And in doing so, it shows our community and all communities that there's resilience, that we can rise above so many things to do the things that are important in life. And you have something to give back to community, to children, and to just to people in general. So it makes a big difference.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So we're so good. Please, Brenda, you're the one that made the connection. All I did was just, I don't know if you got the envelope with the information that I dropped off, but and I keep saying I gotta stop by, gotta stop by. You're literally 3 blocks away from me. I live over
Wow.
on Dawson. If I walk down Dawson near the school and walk across Rainier, I'm
Uh-huh.
right there. Nevertheless, well, let me ask you this: you are in Columbia City. That's Columbia City. And
Well, we like to think of it as Columbia City, but we are actually right at the edge of Columbia City and Hillman City.
in Human City,
So
but
we are,
we don't
yeah,
care. You're
so
Columbia City.
Columbia City.
Yeah, and I guess the question I'm gonna be my host to it, but why did you pick Columbia City, Hillman City? I mean, what I know you. I think don't you still have a restaurant in Bremerton?
In Bremerton, there's a restaurant in Bremerton. My nephew runs that,
Ah, okay.
and that's where it all started.
Right.
My mother had a little restaurant there, just in back of her house. There's a mural on the wall there on Martin Luther King
Yeah. Okay.
Drive that depicts her at this restaurant, and we were there at first, and then I kind of came to Seattle and was here, and I was kind of going back and forth. But she started that one, and that's where it all started. And my nephew has been to Bellevue, and he was there with us at the one in Bremerton. And
That's cool.
when I moved to Seattle, they kind of kept it up doing various things. My nieces also had a barbecue place, not a barbecue, but a chicken place called Heckle and Jekyll's. And yes, it was chicken that was sold. So the family has been in food for quite some time, and they now have a business that's called Franny Mae's, and it's a cha-cha that my mother brought from the South, and they have since bottled it and work hard, at getting that piece off the ground. But these are all things that were part of their grandmother, my mother, and when you can pull together as a family to do things, those are the things that make such a difference.
Your roots.
Yeah, your roots. Well, I mentioned Bremerton because I met you way back when I was going to school at Olympic College, OC.
Oh, wow.
Well, how old were you when I met you? You were 10 years old, right? 10, 12 years old.
John, you know better than to go into that age thing. We've had this discussion before.
Hey, let's just roll back the hands of time.
Thank you.
But let me say, you look magnificent, as they say.
Wow.
Yeah, John. But listen, John, you said enough now. Tess.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we're talking about the restaurant, but I also want to talk about another side of you.
All right.
And that's your singing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that can sing.
The singing part will always be, and I look at the things that I do as gifts. These are gifts that were given to me. And, the cooking, the food, the caring for children, my heart just goes out to children and elderly. And my singing, and yeah, you can say the call of the big stage, when you can stand before 60,000 people, sing the national anthem. Those are all wonderful, wonderful things of life to be able to say that you're a part of.
Oh, yeah.
And to be able to open shows for people like BB King, Tina Turner, Brown. These are all wonderful things, and we find our niche in life, but the real niche of life is the care and love that we share of our gifts with people. And so I still love singing whenever I can. I'm so busy with the restaurant now, but usually lately I've enjoyed going down on Sunday night with my husband to the Esquire to be part of the jam session. Just, you can spread your gifts in many ways. So I continue to sing. Singing is my first love. And we even did a little jingle for the Emma's barbecue.
Oh, cool.
I love that. I love that.
Excuse me, Brenda, but you also, but like I said, your other gift is foster care. You took care of what I think it was over 100 or somewhere near 100 children.
Over 150 children.
Wow.
That piece of life, I've always loved children. Children just seem to gravitate to me. And our state is in a situation now where they desperately need foster parents.
Wow.
I gave that part of my life. There's a book that was written, and I don't know if you remember Roger Pagese.
Yes.
We wrote a book together that now, and especially in his absence, I feel compelled to have published in some kind of way, whether I self-publish it or whatever I do, that explains so much about that time with these children and their lives, trying to put back together seemingly broken lives that was by no fault of these children's own. So I still continue to work with children, and any child that I find that may be in need, that I can give them an encouraging word or speak to the situation that they are in life, I still take the time to be able to do that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's wonderful. Yes.
Did you teach them how to cook? Cook that brisket.
Many of them have the cooking skills.
And that's one of the best gifts you can give a child.
That's right. You teach them. That old saying definitely rings true. You teach someone to do something, and they can move on and do what they need to do. The old teach them to fish story, and I'll be able to catch on my own. That is so true with children, and whatever you try to teach them to do. And children are so absorbent. And if we just in the right way and teach them the right way and continue to show them the right way and lead by example, those children and young people will be able to get it. As dismal as some things seem now with young people, I still have high hopes for the energy that they bring to life and their own gifts. Each of them have something special that they can bring. Our job then becomes, how do we bring out that special thing of life for them that they can thrive? I always said the best thing that I could do with children that were in foster care was to be able to teach them and help them and show them how to be a productive member of society. Once you've done that, that is all we ever wish for our children. Or people or others' children, that these children become productive members of society.
You're right. You're so right. I just want to say our show time is almost over. But if you want to know more about Miss Tess, she will be on my Seniors Matter show on Friday, this coming Friday at 12:30. So please tune in. Check us out on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And Miss Tess, I'm looking forward to talk some more because I know you have some other things going on right now that we won't be able to get into tonight, but we're going to talk about it on Friday.
All right.
I do have one. What's your best-selling dish at Emma's?
The best-selling dish is
Peach cobbler.
Well, it's a toss up. The ribs, the mac and cheese. It's hard. It's hard to make to list a best.
Well, I know one thing. I saw you take that brisket out, and you were slicing it. It was like butter.
Yeah.
I said I gotta go. I'm going there. I'm gonna get some brisket.
Come on.
See, I'm not a brisket fan. But when I had your brisket, I said, "Oh, this is how it's supposed to taste." Okay, I can do that, but I'm only eating at yours.
It goes to the Emma's.
Yeah. Oh, time out. Time
Yeah,
out. Did
well,
you time out?
I think we just lost her, but that's okay because it's 9:57.
Yep.
And I know Daniel's going to cut us off here in a few moments, but I'm so glad that she was able to get on. And like I said, she'll be on my show this coming Friday at 12:30, and we can talk more about the brisket and everything else. There's some other exciting things that she's doing. So I can't wait to have her on Friday and share that with you.
You cannot miss it. If you're traveling north or south on Rainier, you head near, what is it, 47th, 45th or something like that. You can't miss it. Emma's, you'll see that sign, the red and white checkered, black and white checkered sign with the red lettering Emma's Barbecue right there. If you go north, it'll be on your left. If you go south, it'll be on your right. It's right there on the corner. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen,
It's on Rainier Avenue, 2 blocks south of Orcas.
Orcas, correct.
Excuse me,
right?
2 blocks north of Orcas.
North of Orcas, correct.
On the right.
Right. So that's it. You will enjoy it. I looked at that menu and it is fabulous.
No, the food's great. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The food is great.
All right. That's any last words? We got another show coming up next week on What's Cookin'
in Columbia City.
The host with the most. The hostess with the mostest, Brenda Charles Edwards, and me, your other guy, John Yasutake. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. We're glad to be back.
Yes, we are back.